Hello and welcome to Becky's House of Sewing. I'm Becky. This is my house of sewing. It is actually my sewing room, but believe you me, my entire house is my sewing house. This is my sewing room. Welcome to my video podcast. I like to talk about all things thread and needle here, mostly cross stitch and quilting, but you never know what one can get up to with a needle and thread of any sort. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're familiar, welcome back. And I'm excited to talk to you about my adventures in the last couple weeks. This video is brought to you by Ricola. Sorry, I just had to do that. I went to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, and like many people at my table, came back with COVID. Extension of my vacation, if one wants to look at it that way. So if you know me, you know whenever I get sick with a respiratory something or other and congestion, I have a delightful lingering cough. So hopefully the cough drop in my mouth helps with the coughing, because I don't want to cough all the way through the conversation. And I'm going to do my best to move through my thoughts and the events that I did and how I planned for my trip, plus all the fun stuff I have to talk about that were either gifts or things I bought, and the projects that were given to us at the event, and not make it an hour-long video. It's my goal. I can't make any promises at this point, but we are 2 minutes in. Okay, so I went to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I was so excited. And if you know me, and many of my viewers do know me, I can kind of be a lot when I'm over exuberant. When I'm so excited, I feel like I'm gonna explode. I'm genetically disposed to be a lot, and I'm not really sorry about it. I hope I didn't scare anyone, but it's possible that I did. So I had a lot of plans for this, because you know the designers well in advance. They were of Leia, Folk Embroidery, and the Artsy Housewife, both designers I have stitched and loved, and knew for a fact that it almost didn't matter what they gave me as far as a project, that I would love it. And then I heard Robin of Lady Robin S. and the Curious Crafters were coming, and both those people, both those groups, all three ladies, have become my friends over the internet and through Flosstube. So they have been on what I call fondly my stitchy bucket list of people that I just want to stitch with and hang out with and spend time with. So that kind of sealed the deal for me. I've been hesitant to go on a retreat. One, because most of the retreats I've been interested in have been kind of costly and in a rush to get to. I don't really enjoy anything I have to be on time for, or be at my computer at this time and wait for the button to push and hurry up or you won't get in kind of scenario. And this point in my life, that doesn't appeal to me at all. So knowing that it was in Portland and I'd have a lot of travel expenses, I was a little hesitant. But when I heard those ladies were coming, I was like, I just have to throw caution to the wind and just go crazy, which is what I did. And when I get excited, I am very exuberant. I'm very forthcoming with my with my excitement. And I hope that that doesn't scare anyone, but it's entirely possible in this community of introverts at times. Not everyone's an introvert, but stitching and quilting are often solitary crafts and are attractive to introverts. It's entirely possible that I scared those people. And I apologize if I did. That was not my intent, but I couldn't help myself. I was out of control. I was a whirling dervish of excitement. So a little bit of a recap of my trip is the Stitch Summit started Wednesday morning through Sunday afternoon. And I planned my trip to arrive Wednesday afternoon and leave Sunday morning. And then I had a day off when I got back, were the plans. And I will tell you, I went by myself, knowing that I was going to know some people there and hopefully get to sit with them and spend time with them. But I was entirely by myself. My husband was home. We farmed the animals away to my parents in case my husband got a job and had to leave at the last minute. And I was on my own for 5 glorious days. And it was so fun. So I landed in Portland. I had a plan of attack. There was not only the Acorns and Threads cross-stitch store that I wanted to go to, but there are several craft stores and restaurants that I wanted to go to as well, from the places and things that I follow, like Somebody Feed Phil. They did a Portland episode. I listened to the Craft Industry Alliance podcast, which is a fantastic podcast. That's where I first found out about Avlea folk embroidery and Krista West, and also Ritual Dyes, which is an indie yarn dyer in Portland. I also listen to the Rev Craft Business podcast, and that is with now I can't remember her first name. Hunter is her last name, but she lives in Portland. I know that there's a big modern quilt guild area in Portland. There's a fabulous bookstore in Portland. I had all those things on my list. I did not get to all of those, but I did have a plan to see how my day went and see how I felt and see where serendipity led me, that I can go and do some things if I needed to. So I landed, went straight to the hotel, was lucky enough to be able to check in early, and then beelined it to Acorns and Threads, which was already hopping. There were already some ladies there, definitely some Flosstubers that I recognized, and just delighted in going to the store. I wanted to see what was there. I wanted to see fabric. I wanted to see what Avlea was bringing. And I definitely wanted fabric from Avlea because she uses specific fabric that is not commonly in cross-stitch stores. And what else do I want? I brought 2 charts with me that I wanted to kit up that were special to that Acorns and Threads store. So I had some plans to kit things up and then just to see what else happened. After that, I went to eat, and then I kind of went back to the hotel and went to sleep. I'm 3 hours ahead, so I didn't feel I was going to bed early, but I didn't feel slighted in the least because it was already like 9 o'clock in my time, so it's fine to hit the hay. Got up early the next morning, went and had breakfast, immediately found more stitchers that were there for the event, which I would say are the ladies I met at the shop on Wednesday and the ladies I met at the breakfast time on Thursday were among my first friends. And I would say if you're going to a retreat, watch some recaps of other retreats. Maybe not even necessary to watch a recap of this particular event that's been going on for like 30 years. But so you kind of understand the ins and outs of what happens at a retreat. Oftentimes, if there are specific designers coming, you're going to get a kit. You're going to get a conversation from the designer about their inspiration or how they work. You might have a smalls exchange, that kind of thing. And then you're going to have some stitch time and giggle time and, things to fill the air, as far as fun games and whatnot. So all of that kind of I was prepared for, and outside of that, just, whatever happened was going to be fun. I was just so excited to be there, and excited to meet everyone. And if you go into these things with a spirit of generosity, you're going to have a good time no matter what. Everyone is there for the same reason. Everyone is, maybe not necessarily there to meet new people, but to be surrounded by people who are interested in the same thing. So there's a general excitement that comes along with that naturally, and it becomes a very welcoming event. Everyone knows why you're here. Come sit with us. You're going to get the most out of your experience if you are open to inviting other people there. There were a lot of people at this event. It was their first event, just like me. And if you have there was times where like the announcement would be, does anyone have an open seat at their table? We have a new person here that doesn't have anyone to sit with. And, you gotta fight for your right to have that new person in there, because you just never know who you're going to meet. So I would say go with a spirit of generosity. That doesn't mean you have to be like me and physically, emotionally explode with excitement. Be yourself, but be generous with yourself. Be generous with others, and you're going to be amazed and your heart will be full. So that's the overall gist of it, I would say. The other thing I would say in preparation for an event, if you're excited about the area that you're going to, be like me and have some things ready to plan or to go and see if time allows. And one thing I did not do, which I regret, I didn't get my COVID shot in advance. So I would recommend, if you are open to doing vaccines, I would recommend that you get your COVID shot. I would recommend that you get your flu shot, just so that you are protected. When you're in a group of 200 people, nobody means to be a super spreader, but obviously we were not the only table that got COVID. Not everyone got COVID, but you don't have to have that situation if you take preparation ahead of time. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So Thursday, I got to hang out with these ladies after breakfast. They immediately started stitching in the lobby. So I went up and got my things that I had bought on Wednesday and started kitting things up like that until about 10 o'clock. And then I had some places that I definitely wanted to go to. So I took off and ate lunch at some of the places on Somebody Feed Phil. I went to Ritual Dyes, and then I headed back to Acorns and Threads, because on Wednesday they weren't fully set up for the event yet. Some things were arriving Thursday afternoon, so I ended up there, which is where I first met Robin in person. We didn't even have to plan it. We just showed up miraculously at the same place, which was fantastic. Krista was there. I may have accosted her exuberantly with enthusiasm and love of her products. and what she does. And I would say she met my energy. We became fast friends. And that's thrilling, exciting. Again, when you go with a spirit of generosity, you're going to find your people. You're going to find people that are just like magnets to you. And again, you don't have to be me. You can be yourself. You can be whoever you are and whatever you believe, and you will find your people. So don't be afraid to go by yourself ever. So bought more things. Round 2 was just as exciting as round 1. And then Robin and her crew and I went to dinner, which was fantastic. And then I, again, went to sleep. No, I didn't. I kind of went to my room to rest because I might have been in overload. And the Curious Crafters are coming in around 11 o'clock that night on Thursday night. Or maybe that was Friday. Now I'm getting my days confused. Whenever the Curious Crafters came in, they came in late because Anna had a field trip, and so they came in after she got off work. And I was so excited that I waited up for them essentially and met them in the lobby, and we had a girl moment. And luckily they too matched my energy. Luckily they were just as excited as I was, because I just, again, couldn't help myself. I was just falling all over myself with excitement. So that was great. We ended up, obviously we didn't spend a lot of time. They were tired. I was tired. We chatted a little bit, made plans to kind of connect again at breakfast, and came down Friday morning, in which the entire lobby was full of cross-stitchers. It was a delightful, delightful start to the convention. You're seeing everyone that you recognize from Flosstube. You're recognizing stitchers. Everyone's talking to each other. It was just great. So then we kind of got all our stuff together and waited in line for the doors to open, and ended up sitting with the Curious Crafters, another friend, Melinda, that we met at breakfast, Suzanne, Emily, and then Jessica came in later. Emily ended up leaving our table because when the doors opened, there was kind of a little bit of a rush, and she and her friend got separated, and her friend had saved her a seat at another table. So we told her with love, go be with your friend. We're still your friends. You can come back and visit anytime. And so it was lovely. Again, I know the Curious Crafters through Flosstube and a little conversation through Instagram, but it was a delight to get to know them more, and just have conversation. But the real delight of meeting complete strangers, of Melinda and Suzanne and Jessica, they're just amazing people of all different backgrounds and all different interests, and it was just so lovely to make new friends. And people often say that as adults it's harder to make friends, and I don't know that that's true, except that we as adults are not as actively in situations to make new friends. And I think that's the bigger difference, that when you're at an event like this and you're sitting at a round table with multiple people, it gives you a unique opportunity to get to know people in a different way. So, A+, highly recommend. Just had the most delightful time. I was so hoarse from talking 3 days in a row. Pretty much nonstop. Um, and apparently a little louder than I thought I was. But it was great. I am now going to show you some of the stuff that we got. And in and amongst that, I will show you some of my haul. Let's start with this bag. So when I got home and I had Monday off, it was the best decision I ever made. I went and I got a massage. I had my toes done. I made project bags for all my projects. I clearly wasn't sick until Tuesday. So it was the best vacation I've ever had in years. It was the first vacation where I didn't feel like I didn't get enough out of it, or I was super tired, or just my bucket was full. My heart was full of cross-stitch love. So this is my first bag, and I have all my bags adorned with different gifts that I got at table gifts and such. Too many to name names, but if you gave this to me, I love it, and it's a delight. So this is my bag. I bought this fabric when I didn't know if I was going to get the Carolyn's birthday sal bag, because I was going to make my own moth bag. And so I've had this for over a year, and it finally found its home. So I thought it was appropriate that it was an Artsy Housewife bag. And all their stuff came in this cute little bag. And we got the fabric and the threads. Look at that cute gold ring. And we got 2 charts. We were lucky enough for each designer to give us 2 projects. A great value. This was the big one for the Artsy Housewife. And this is the smaller project for the Artsy Housewife. It's just fantastic. Boone was there as well. And the other thing I would say is that everyone is exactly as they are on YouTube. They were delightful, also welcoming, just so much fun. And then this is my bag for Krista's stuff, the Avalea folk embroidery. And again, such a delight. Certainly met my energy, and very generous with her time and her thoughts, and so thoughtful for what she is doing and how she is doing it, and excited for what is going on as far as getting more people involved in it of all age groups, but mostly the young age group. So this is, she gave us the floss drops and this lovely set here. And it came in this bag with instructions on how to embroider it if we chose to. And then she gave us this project. This project. And this is on the traditional ground cloth. And I've got a small start on it. I didn't show you the starts for the Artsy Housewife, but I only have like 1 thread in there, so it's not. And this is the same. I only got like 1 thread in it. I started it this way, and it was a challenge to get the thread path. And Anna's like, whoa, we should stitch it this way. I'm like, you're a genius. And so I ripped out what I did, and it was so much easier. So that's that. And then this one, which I have not stopped working on. Isn't that pretty? And then this is where I'm at with it. I've done a lot. It's been such a delightful stitch. And then she gave us this is the inspiration for the embroidery, and then she gave us a little extra chart in there too. So a lot. She gave us a lot. Let me show you the two charts I kitted up. This is in a Mary Engelbright bag, and here's the acorns and threads thing that we got. I didn't show you this is a little maple leaf. I think this came from our table next door. I don't know who exactly gave it to us, but little maple leaf. Cute. By the time I made this bag, I had run out of vinyl. I've ordered more to come. So I bought this Catherine's Garden from the Hobby House. It's an exclusive from the Hobby House, but it calls for Jody's fabric, Cedar River Linens fabric. So I wanted to kit it up at Acorns and Threads because I knew they would have all the threads if I chose to do it in silks or DMCs. And I really wanted to buy some Cedar River linen, and I didn't want to order it from Cedar River because I didn't want to wait. And I also wanted to, it's one of those things I wanted to see the colors because I'm not familiar with them. So I just need you to see all these threads. Look, they are 25 beautiful colors. I got these floss drops from the Curious Crafters in their grab bag of fun goodies to give away, and I was so grateful because I really wanted to kit this up and I wanted floss drops, and they were sold out at Acorns and Threads. This is what I've done so far, and let me see, I've got my needle stuck in it, hold on. I think I'm going to restart this, and I'll talk it through here in a second. Almost done with my needle hiding here. So you can see at the bottom that this is the called for salt ash. I did 46 count because I'm fancy. And I've clearly messed something up, but for the life of me, I cannot find where I have messed up. At the bottom, I'm one row higher, I believe. And maybe I just need to double check that. Maybe I'm really not. But I think I am one row higher, and everything I've checked so far is to the chart. So I think because it is a 46 count, I've like gone over 3 somewhere kind of deal in a couple places. So I may restart this. I may use different fabric. I may go to a lower count. So to be determined. That's what I kitted up on Wednesday. And then this is another bag I got, and that's another thing I purchased at Acorns and Threads. And Mary Engelbright. And I had purchased an ode to libraries and wanted to kit this up at Acorns and Threads because Heartstring Samplery is LNS is the Acorns and Threads. So that's what I did. And I got the called for floss. Let me see if I can pull it out here. I've got a couple of charts in here because I ended up buying another Heartstring Samplery chart. And these are the threads for an ode to libraries. So lovely. Combo of things. And then I did not get the called for fabric. This is from Manny Didana, and I hadn't heard of that dyer, but this is Frog Gray, and I just think it's really pretty. And it's going to look nice with my ode to libraries. the other chart I got was an exclusive to Acorns and Threads, and it's What a Time to Be Alive. And I saw this in person too, right by the register, and it was a 2020 sentiment, and it is true today as it was then 5 years ago. What a time to be alive. So I got that, and I haven't started anything yet, but I expect to soon here. Maybe. I pulled this thread. I got gifted this by a local friend, Caroline, who was getting rid of her over dyes. And this is a mist dye from Cotton, Color and Cotton. So I might use that. I haven't found the right fabric though. Yeah, I don't think. So those are the two things plus some. Let's see what else I have in here. A Nicole bag. Yay! So the things I bought at Acorns and Threads. See what I can get out without it sliding all over the place. And some of these are presents with an undetermination of what we wanted to get, because some of my friends are like, can you get me something while you're there? So my friends will pick from these two. These are bookmarks. What's great about these kits, and you can buy them on her website, is that they come with a combination of different types of fabric, so you can get a feel of what kind of fabric you like, either the Mickey or the traditional ground cloth. I bought this one for myself because I like the colors. And then I really liked this at Market but didn't get it, but so I decided I'd get it there. Cute, huh? And I think that's all in the bag. On Wednesday, my trip to Acorns and Threads was so exuberant. I was able to get a nice discount. After a certain dollar amount, they give you a discount, and then I got these bags. And the next day, I ended up just buying another bag because I wanted to give one to my mom and also keep one for myself. But of course. So, let's see. I have my mom's bag here. There are some things in there that I haven't shown her yet, but I can show you the things that I have already shown her. I mentioned that I went to Ritual Dyes. I'm not sure if I said the name. Ritual Dyes is the indie yarn dyer that I follow. And my mom knits, and I have another very good friend that knits. And so I've already sent her yarn, so you can't see it, but you can see these. Look how pretty. These are sock yarns. Aren't they going to be wonderful? Socks are my favorite Christmas gift from my mom, so maybe if I'm a good girl, I'll get one of those, or she'll keep them herself, whichever she wants. And then she's going to do the Sophie shawl from Petite Knits, and they recommended this superwash fine merino wool, and I picked this colorway. So pretty. And then I got my mom this set from Avalea, and I bought her this guide too, a little patriotic. And it only had mostly DMC, but it had one fancy floss, so I got that for her because Mom doesn't have an L&S nearby. And I think that's all I want to show. More things in there, Mama. Wait till you see. Outside of that, let me show you a little bit of this thing. This was a great gift from the Gypsy Quilter. It unsnaps and lays flat, has a zipper on the bottom, which you obviously can't see. But this is a pile of my small that I got and random gifts that you got at Table Gifts. And let me just say this about table gifts. So you can do table gifts. Usually you're sitting with 8 to 10 people. And you can do a few more to give to other people. They are not necessary. They are not a requirement. You do not have to do any of that. Again, it's opportunity when somebody gets an idea of what they want to give and they have the means to do so. I would recommend giving it because it's a fun way to exchange, just like at Taylor Swift concerts when everyone was making friendship bracelets and trading them. It's just a fun thing, but it's not required. So I'm just going to start from the top, and again, I didn't really pick, I don't really remember names and stuff, but this is random stuff in here. So this is my small that I got. Isn't it pretty? And this is the back. I do not, this is anonymous. Do not know who did this. I never got to meet her or him. So if you did this, thank you very much. It came with the fabric. So clearly that's going to need to be a project bag of some sort. Here's some random things that I got also at Ritual Dyes. Got some Sashiko thread. So that was fun. This is a name tag that I made myself. And this is what I got from Anna and Carolyn from their little table gifts. But Acorns and Threads has a fun thing where they make you a name tag and you're supposed to bring it back every year. And every year you attend, you get a charm. This was this year's charm. This was a charm on another table gift that I just added to it. So it's fun to see, like, those who have gone to all of them have quite a big collection. So you're supposed to always bring it back. So I have that kind of right here. It's a magnet, so it helps me remember it. Table gifts. I got a waxer. This was from some of my first friends at the retreat, so thank you again. That's a lot of beautiful work with a lovely needle. Who doesn't need that? The table next to us had somebody from Canada, and so I still have this because I'm saving it for a special occasion. This is a compilation of several gifts. Some people who have 3D printers were making floss drops. There's a wood laser cut bobbin holder floss drop, and then this cute little guy too. So if you made me those, thank you so much. Here's another 3D printed corner gauge, my first corner gauge, which I used a lot at the table to get my things started, which is fun. Somebody was giving pony needles out. Little measuring tape, also handy. These cute little guys showed up. Cute little froggy for when you're frogging. Ribbit, ribbit. A little flamingo who's adorable. This little bag held some projects, I believe. Pirate Robin was there. Very fun to meet her. And she gifted everyone a set of 3 skeins. And this is my collection. Kind of on theme, right? Who knew? I didn't mean to do that, but it happened. Things are falling. This is what Robin gave me with a little needle threader inside it. And then I got books and notepads and pens and things like that. That was really cute too. I might have to say that my favorite gift made a noise, and this was given, it started on the other side of the room, so the person that brought this must have been on the other side of the room, but I kept hearing these and I was like, I really want one. I really hope I get one of those. And this is Thelma, the thread chicken. So when you play thread chicken and you win, you get to do this, in which your dogs then go crazy. So that was so fun. I was so thrilled when I got this. And I think that kind of concludes everything that I got and all the different fun things. I would really, really recommend you guys going to a retreat. Again, you have to play your cards right. You have to have some room for serendipity. You have to be a little flexible in your plans and in your ideas of how the event is going to go. And then go with the spirit of generosity and be prepared. Be prepared for your health. Be prepared for plans to go out to eat and things like that. Because you should, on vacation, in my world, you are always planning your next meal while you're having your meal. So if you're having breakfast, you're planning your lunch. If you're eating lunch, you're planning your dinner. You have to have these things in place because one needs to know where your next meal is coming from, especially on vacation. But anyway, Table 22, you rock. It was so good to meet you all. It's been so fun. Since the retreat, when we mostly all got COVID, we've been a text chain. We're talking about getting together on Zoom. So you really feel like, and I know for sure it's not a feeling, I have made amazing friends and solidified meeting Robin, meeting Carolyn, meeting Anna, having known them before I go. Sure, just online. But I would say we were friends before we got there. But meeting them in person just solidified exactly what we thought. That we were fast friends and so happy to be together. So I'm so glad I got to stitch with everyone that I did. I'm so glad I got to meet Krista West and Gigi and Boone. Thank you so much. Janine and her crew, they ran a flawless retreat. And I could not be more grateful and thankful for Acorns and Threads for putting on this event. I can't wait to go next year. Lindy Stitches, the Blue Flower, and Plum Street are going to be there. I believe it's celebrating the 30th anniversary of Acorns and Threads. So that's very, very exciting and a big milestone. And I have stitched Plum Street and I have stitched Lindy Stitches. I have always admired the Blue Flower, but have never been able to pick what I wanted to stitch because they're all so good. So I'm very excited to see that. I feel the same way about the designers from this year that I do for next year. So I really look forward to going. And I had so much fun. My husband has already promised me that I'm going. So it's just in the books. So I hope to see you there, and I hope you can sit at our table because it was a lot of fun. All right, bye. Have fun stitching.